Welcome back to the channel on our continuing voyage to become better blues players. My name's Mark, and in this lesson we're going to look at playing an entire 12-bar blues guitar solo using just 4 notes. Not learning any fancy scales, just 4 really simple, easy notes that we can build an entire solo out of. So the way the lesson's going to work, you're going to see me play an example solo using just 4 notes, which is comprised of 6 really easy licks. Then what we'll do is we'll come back on the other side, I'll show you the 4 notes, I will talk about how we can bring the most music out of them, and then I'll take these 6 example licks apart, show you them one by one, nice and slow with tab on screen. So here's the solo. So that was the example, and what we'll do now is we'll look at the 4 notes and pull those licks apart and show you them one by one. But before we do, we have a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, please like and subscribe. We're very close to 30,000 subscribers now, so please like and subscribe the video. There is tab available. If you'd like a free copy of the tab, then please see the description below. Send me an email, my details are in the description. And next time I'm online, I'll simply reply, attaching the tab to it. Please make sure that the email asks for 4-note blues in G minor. Okay, there is also a backing track available for this. What you heard me playing over, that backing track is available. The backing track has kindly been provided by Tom Bailey Music. Really grateful for providing me with the backing track. Again, please see details in the description below. And finally, this is a follow-on to a previous lesson, which again, in the description below, I'll put a link to. The previous lesson was 3-note blues in G minor. So what we're doing now is we're going to expand that to 4-note blues. This was specifically requested by my Patreon supporters. So big thank you to everybody on Patreon who supports the channel, keeps it going, keeps the lights and the cameras and everything paid for. And also a big thank you to those who show their gratitude for the lessons by leaving a tip in my PayPal tip jar. If you're interested in any of those things, again, please see the description below. Okay, housekeeping out the way, let's get on with the lesson. So first of all, what are these notes? Well, quite simply, they are these 4 notes here. Okay, so we've got a root note, G string 12th fret. Okay, we've got 11th fret of the B string, but we've also got 10th fret of the G string and 12th fret of the D string. The important thing here is that we've got this little pattern of notes that all kind of circle the root note. The root note's kind of right in the middle of that. That root note, 12th fret G string, that's the most important note. So that root note, when we play that, we're going to shake it. We're going to play that with our ring finger. The note on the 10th fret, we're going to play with our index finger. That's 10th fret G string. 12th fret of the D string, we're going to play with our ring finger. And 11th fret of the B string, we're going to play with our middle finger. And if we think about those 4 notes under those 3 fingers, it kind of just makes everything nice and easy that we can kind of dance around those notes really easily. The root note we're going to shake. We're not going to bend it at all, but we are going to shake it whenever we hold it. That's a good note to resolve to when we're playing a lick, to end the lick on. Same is true of the 12th fret of the D string. We're not going to bend it, but we are going to land on it, and when we land on it, we're generally going to shake it. Again, it's a good note to resolve to. The 11th fret B string, when we play that, we can get dirty. We can push that out of tune and bend it, as long as we then resolve to one of the good notes, which is, let's say, the root note. So you get this kind of thing. Okay, and the same is true for 10th fret of the G string as well. Whenever we're on that, we can pull that one slightly sharp and bend that out of tune, drag it out and make it sound dirty as well. So as you can see, just 4 little notes there, but by having 2 that we can do some kind of this dirty dragging them out of tune thing with, and others that we're just going to hold and shake, you can start coming up with some really nice little blues phrases and licks. And that's basically where this entire solo came from. So those are the licks, that's where we are. You can do this in any key. This happens to be in G minor, but to place it in another key, you'd simply locate that note with your ring finger on the G string. So let's say we were going to do this in D. We'd locate a D on the fretboard along the G string, and then we just shift this pattern down. So if we're going to do this in D, the same 4 notes would be like this. But we're not playing in D today, we're playing in G. So all the licks are going to be in G. But if you wanted to just take this little shape and shift it along the neck to different keys, that's how you do it. Okay, with all of that out the way, let's get on with the licks. So lick 1 goes like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now I'll do it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. And even slower. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what we've got is we're playing those 4 notes, but we've got a little bit of articulation going on there. First of all, we're sliding in to that 12th on the G on the D string, then playing 10 on the G, then 11 on the B string before resolving to 12 on the G. So you get this. And when we resolve to the 12 on the G, we're going to hold it and shake it. Okay, so that's kind of how we're wringing the most music out of this, by putting these little things in like slides and bends and shakes in order to make the lick sound more interesting. It's the first half of the lick. The second half of the lick then starts 10th fret of the G string, pulls it slightly sharp before going 12 on the D, before going back to 10 on the G string, finally resolving 12 on the G string, holding it and shaking it. So that second half of the lick then goes like this. Okay, and the other thing to mention about this is this lick starts on the preceding bar. So when you listen, if you go back and have a look at the solo again, what you'll see is the lick actually starts before the band come in. So you get a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the band come in. What we do is we listen, and after the 3rd count, we then we start this lick so that we land this 12 on the G, this long note that's going to last for 4 counts. We'll land on that when the band start. Okay, so that's why we've got this 1, 2, 3 count before we go in. Because on the backing track, you'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4. We're coming in after the 3, we're coming in on the 4. Well, we're actually coming in on the and between the 3 and the 4. Okay, so that's lick 1. I'll do it again up to speed. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was lick 1. Lick 2 then goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, starts twice on this 11th here. Then 12, 10, 12 on the G string. Before then going 11 on the B, 12, 12 on the G and D string respectively, before actually ending on the 10 on the G string, holding it and shaking it. That second part goes like this. Now, this is quite interesting because, as I said at the start, we generally don't hold on that note. What we do is we'd resolve to the G or to the 12 on the G string or 12 on the D string. But in this case, we are holding that because the music's about to change. We're about to move from the G minor chord to the C chord, C minor chord, and holding that note there at that point just before we move actually adds a bit of tension and tells the listener, hang on, we're not going to rest here, we're going to move, because the whole band are going to shift from playing a G minor chord to a G major chord. Okay, so that was lick 2. Lick 3 now goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and I'll do it nice and slow. It comes in just after the beat. So that's why we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then we're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you notice that those last 2 notes, again, we've got this dirty bend, this hard pull on the 10 on the G string before resolving to 12 on the G string, holding and shaking. So we start by playing, we're bouncing between 12 on the D string and 10 on the G string. We do that twice before resolving to 12 on the G. Then the second half of the phrase plays 10 on the G, then 10 on the G, holding it but bending it, pulling it sharp before resolving to 12 on the G. Okay, so the whole lick nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so that was lick 3. Lick 4 now goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we start 2 hits on the 11 on the G string. Sorry, 11 on the B string. Then 12 on the G, 12 on the D, 10 on the G, 12 on the G string. I'll do that part nice and slow. Okay, and again nice and slow. And then the second half we play 11 on the B string, 11 pushing it sharp before pushing it out of tune, and then resolving to 12 on the G string. Hold and shake. Now, earlier on I said that we would always play 12th fret of the D string with our ring finger. Actually, when we play this pattern, and I think we did the same in lick 2 as well, we can cross our fingers slightly, because in order to play 12 on the G to then play 12 on the D, we need to play that with our middle finger. So we end up playing this sort of pattern. Okay, and so when we do that, yes, we might occasionally use the middle finger in order to play the note on the D string as well. Okay, so that was lick 4. Lick 5 now goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we start, actually we start quite similar to lick 3, where we're bouncing between 10 on the G string to 12 on the D string. We do that twice, but that second time we then hold the 12 on the D string. So far we've got this. Then, after holding that for a while, we then pick 10 on the G string, but cut it quite short. Just play it really short. So far we've got this. Okay, and then what we do is the second half of the lick, we're going to play 10 on the G string again, 10 pulling it slightly sharp, resolving to 12 on the D string before again coming back to 10 on the G string. So that second part goes like this. And again, that last note, we're kind of cutting it a little short, playing it more like, quite like a stab. So the whole lick 5, nice and slow, goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and here we are, last lick, lick 6, and that goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, what we've got is holding and shaking on the 12 on the G string. That happens twice. We've also got this dirty bend on the G string at the 10th fret as well. So I'll take you through the notes really slow. First half of the lick goes like this. We've got that kind of crossing our fingers thing again by starting 11 on the B string, 12 on the G string, 12 on the D string. So far we've got this. Then we come back to 10 on the G string to 12 on the G string, and we're going to hold that note. So far we got this. And again, nice and slow. Okay, in the second half then takes that 10 on the G string, bends it slightly sharp before coming off to 12 on the D string, coming back to 10 on the G, before 12 on the G and holding it. So that second half then goes like this. Put the whole lick together, you get this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there it was. All 6 licks and based off just 4 notes played in the entire 12-bar solo. A tab is available, as I said. Learn the solo, practice over the backing track. Big thanks to Tom Bailey again for supplying the backing track, and a big thank you to all the Patreon supporters. Their names are about to appear now, because what you're going to see is, now you've learned the whole solo, here it is again. Here's the whole solo that we've just learned, but you'll also see the Patreon names coming up as well, as a big thank you to all of those, because they're the ones who pay to keep the channel going. So thanks again, and I will see you soon.